could hear a pin drop. Good evening, friends. Good evening. Wow, well done. Good evening and welcome this lovely, toasty, warm Thursday evening to Littleport Village Hall and to, indeed, Littleport Christian Spiritualist Church. It is a pleasure to see you all here. Familiar faces, unfamiliar faces, faces that are looking at me as if to say, oh God, here he goes again. It's a good combination. So welcome, 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 one and all, to this Thursday evening, where we join together to prove the continuity of life, to raise the vibrations, to raise the rafters, and to prove that life is indeed eternal. And of course, in order to do that, we need a medium. And tonight, we of course have yet another wonderful, beaming, smiling face, full of the joys of spring, and ready to prove that life is indeed eternal. So please give a lovely Littleport welcome, a huge raucous uproar for our good friend Claire Quadling. Please do send your loving thoughts to her throughout this evening. And of course, it's the same as ever. We're here to do what we normally do. We'll have prayers, we'll have philosophy, we'll have healing, and then I will be doing what everybody looks forward to, shutting up and letting you get on with it. But of course, this is a divine service, so to begin, as ever, let's join and open up this evening in prayer. As we say, Great Spirit, Father, Mother, God, we thank you for the opportunity to come together as friends, to unite the two worlds, to lift the wonderful veil between the two worlds so that we may be able to reach out and see that life continues. We know that there are times of difficulty and in strain, Great Spirit, and this is for that time that we ask that help and support and guidance and upliftment are brought to each person here present, all those watching online and all the friends and families that they represent. Because we know that the family of one, the family of unity, the family of humanity is the one family that will raise us out of difficulty and bring us to shinier, brighter times. So as I place this service in your care and keeping, I make the statement on all of our behalves that as ever, everything we do will be in the name of love, truth, and light. Amen. Well, friends, now is the time in our service when I'm going to give you a few notices. For those that have never been before, give them a bit of a preview of how nuts we can be. What happens just in case. Should we need to evacuate the building, of course, our exits are here, and through here. Yes, you can even run across the stage. But that shouldn't happen. But if the curtains start twitching and the chairs start sliding around the hall, you can follow me. I'll be the first one out, because that just doesn't happen. But what does happen is love, upliftment, friendship, and proving eternal life. Because that's what we're here to do at the end of the day. And this is where I kind of segue into the address without really acknowledging it. Because we are here to prove the continuity of life, to work with mediumship, to work with the philosophy of this way of life, to work with each other to prove that there's got to be something more than this. I'll never forget the first time I saw that one particular video on TikTok that's now made its way to Facebook and Instagram, where there's this kid sitting on the floor crying his eyes out, and his parents wanted to know what was wrong, because he just sat playing Monopoly with his brother. He says, what's wrong? And he just sits there. Taxes are just so horrible. And he was having a preview of what was to come. Because life can be difficult. And we all know that there are two certain things in life: passing to the great world beyond and taxes. But it doesn't mean to say that they have to be the only guarantee. We can make our own guarantees. And mediumship helps to prove that fact. Mediumship helps to reunite us with those that we've lost, or at least thought we had, and show us that there's a better way of living, of working, of breathing. But unfortunately, we are indeed humans. And sometimes humans get in the way of that message. I've been guilty of it in the past. We all have at some point, I'm sure. But if we recognize it and do something about it, we can take a step forward. I've been talking with many people this week, and one of the things in themes that I've noticed is that human nature. Now, I'm going to ask you all a question, and I don't expect hands raising, standing up, and all that stuff. They're rhetorical, so just you don't have to engage if you don't want to. But who amongst us are left-handed or right-handed? Who amongst us have curly handwriting or big, bold, chunky handwriting? Who cooks tea and puts the vegetables on the left and the mash on the right, or vice versa? We all do similar things, but slightly different. The purpose, the point, the direction, the end result is the same. You get written down, whether it's left or right. You can still read it, whether it's loopy or chunky, unless, of course, you're a doctor, in which case sometimes it's a struggle. And whether you put the mashed potato on the left or the vegetables on the left of your plate, it doesn't make a difference. You still sit there and eat it. What's the point of all of this? If we take that analogy and apply it to this way of life, it doesn't matter whether your address is 2 minutes, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes. It doesn't matter whether you start your prayers with Great Spirit, or Father, Mother, God, or Great White Spirit, or Divine Source, or Great Universe. It doesn't matter. It's still a prayer. It doesn't matter whether your addresses are, as I said, a few minutes or a little bit longer, although I will warn you from personal experience, when you hit 15 minutes, people start nodding off and falling off. When you hit 18 minutes, Barbara starts throwing things at you. And when you hit 19 minutes, Eunice just comes up here and drags me off the platform. But that's philosophy. What about mediumship? It's the same thing. Some people will go direct, some people will throw it out. Some people will focus on the details of what the person looks like, and some mediums will focus on how they feel towards you and those memory links. And some mediums will focus more on the message that that relative wants to bring to you. It doesn't matter, because we still get the proof. We still get the connection. We still get that link to spirit. And anyone who is genuine will always, always demonstrate the love of spirit that they have for us. And that's what we're here after. It doesn't matter whether they tell us about who's behind door number 3. It doesn't matter whether they tell us that there was a red car that was back to front and inside out. It doesn't matter whether they tell us that their hair was short or long or indifferent. What matters is that connection of love, of compassion and joy. Because we all work differently, be it in physical mediumship, trance mediumship, mental mediumship, philosophy, teaching, development. We all have our own views and our own directions. And in the past, I've been one of these people that have said, oh, but you've got to do it like that. Guess what? I got older and I grew up and realized that we all do things in our own way. So whether it's cooking tea and plating it up, whether it's writing, whether it's mediumship, so long as you follow those golden rules of common sense and compassion, you'll never go far wrong. And anyone who says otherwise, well, that's entirely up to them. See what I did there? The point, my friends, is that we all have a personal relationship with spirit. We all have a personal relationship with those that have gone before us. And those ways of expressing it, we should be entitled to express them in our way. That is the point of spiritualism, to be able to be open to difference, to unity in difference. that there might be something a little bit more, because as much as we have grown as a race, we still got a long way to go. But we're getting there, and we will keep taking one step at a time, moving forward, spiritually, technologically, grammatically, all of those ways. We will keep stepping forward. We will keep moving forward, because Spirit are behind us saying, carry on. Keep going. Make what we did worthwhile and last, and add some of your own to it yourself. So be yourselves. Do things your way, so long as they are kind and genuine. That's all that matters. Because life, like everything, and we keep getting this symbol showing up in all manner of places, on flags, on badges, in books, in ancient 2,000, 5,000-year-old stories. There's this one symbol that we keep getting shown. And in the last few hundred years, it's been shown quite clearly in science as well. The rainbow, or more accurately, the spectrum. People look at a rainbow, look at a spectrum, and they draw their own conclusions to what it means to them. But let me tell you something we always miss. We talk about a spectrum as being extremes of opinions, ideas, ways of working. There's that end, and then there's that end. You got that end, that's one way of being or working, and that end is one way of working or being. But we've missed the point. Because the whole point of a spectrum is, it's a big old loop. There is no starting point or ending point. And the whole idea of compressing it down into one lump is that it creates pure white light. That's what happens when you put light through a droplet of water or a prism. It splits it down into its constituent parts. But it's not one end to one end. It's a loop. Because when you get up that end, you go back round the other. And anyone who's got Photoshop or some similar kind of technology will know that because of the colour wheels. But the point is this: if we recognise that there are different parts of that spectrum, and we all fit on there somewhere, we also learn to recognise that it's all of us that is required to make white light, that great, bright white light, full of peace and joy and upliftment that we talk about in all of our prayers, in all of our healings, and in all of our workings. It needs us all to be a part of it. So just think on that one, if you will, and I'll say thank you for listening, and God bless you all. And so now, in a slight change to order of service, we're going to go straight to the healing. Yes, we are. Whilst Tony is preparing himself, because you don't have to listen to me much longer now, don't worry. Please do include Reverend Alan in your thoughts and prayers. He's gone back into hospital again, bless him. For those that have been on Facebook will already know that. But do keep sending him your healing thoughts, because it really, really does help. So all those that are willing and able to perform the hands-on healing, make your way to the back of the hall so you can see where the hands are going to get put up in the air. And prepare to follow the instructions of Tony for those that want healing. As I now say, Mr. Tony, before I get in trouble for calling him Reverend Tony, it's over to you, dear.
You're so kind.
I know.
Thank you. Oh, look at it, very expectant, aren't you? If you'd like some healing, our healers are poised and ready. Just raise your hand. Healers, you know where you're going? Yeah, I can do two here. One there, yeah. One there, I'll do one there, yeah. Okay. Nick, can you oh, it's all right. Yeah, Nick will go there, that's fine. Okay. I have a few words as ever. Central to our way of life and belief is the need and practice of healing. It transcends all walks of life. So, Great Spirit, send your power to our healers here and send your healing to those not here, but those in need of healing, whether it be in mind or body. For when we gather together and healing is asked for and given, the power of our healing is multiplied exponentially. Thank you, healers. Just bring yourselves back. And as I say every week, thank you to those of you who asked, because it is the most difficult question of the night. Thank you.
Bless you. I want feedback later. Thank you, Tony, and thank you to all of our healers. It really is one of the most, oh, hello, somebody's about, one of the most delectable, delightful, and important forms of mediumship. And it is, oh, that's better, I can see you again now. It is central to moving forward in this way of life. Healing is such a joy to be a part of. So well done and thank you, everyone. And so now, the strange thing is, these are my long distance ones. What's going on? Oh, did I? Oh. Do you know what? It's really, really weird, but I can see it better with my readers than I can with my long distances. I'd get used to it. Never mind. I think I need to go to the opticians, maybe that's what it's telling me. For those that have never been before, I won't single you out because that's not nice. I'll do that in week 2. For those that have never been before, mediumship is communication between this life, the physical life, and the next life, containing those that have gone before us. And I'm sure you've probably figured that bit out yourself by walking in the door. But for the practical side of it, have an open mind. It might not be the person you want, but it will definitely be someone who wants to talk to you. And send your loving thoughts to the lovely Claire, who's getting herself ready to serve you right now. Send your thoughts, be clear, and as a general rule, although it's not essential, but it does help, answer in a clear voice, yes, no, or don't know, because let's face it, everyone else in the room is nosy and wants to know what's going on. But most importantly, have a wonderful, uplifting, enjoyable evening of contact with the world of spirit. You look like I've forgotten something. Oh, that's all right then. Huh? Well, you told me you didn't want to do it this week, so I didn't organise it. You've done something, haven't you? Do you know what? I do as you're told, and I do as I'm told, and I'm wrong. I do as I'm not told, and I'm wrong. Right, in that case, we're having it. Right. Apologies. We had a conversation last week, right? I'll do the reading this week, but I'm not doing it next week. But then Spirit have obviously given you something important to say. In that case, we're going to have our reading before our demonstration of mediumship. Right. But so we need a volunteer for next week. We do need a volunteer for next week, and that will come in the notices at the end. But thank you for prompting. Because now you can sit and think about whether you're going to be the one that I pick on or whether you're just going to volunteer yourself. But for now, please welcome to the front the lovely Eunice with one of her writing/readings. Ladies and gentlemen, Eunice. You deliberately wear things knowing that you just want to catch me out, don't you?
Yes, good question, yeah.
Don't change.
Right, before I start my reading, I'd just like to give you a message from Alan. He said he misses you all. He really appreciates the healing that you've been sending him. It is helping, believe it or not. It really is helping. And he sends his love. Right, that bit done. Now for the fun. This is a little bit of a nonsense writing tonight, I'm afraid. So, right, I am a little angel. At least that's what people say. I come in love and light and truth. I earned my wings today, so I'm looking for a place to stay whilst learning what to do. They said it would be easy. Well, it ain't, I'm telling you. I have to stop my mischief. Well, that's so hard to do, especially when Linda's rabbit was going down the loo. You see, I thought her house would do until I saw that bunny. It laughed at me. I could not fly. I did not find that funny. Well, I came to all your houses, and I had a good look round. They all seem very nice and cozy. So here's some that I found. I took a trip to Barry's house. It's very clean and bright, but I saw 2 enormous cats, so I very bright and clean. But when I saw 2 enormous cats, I legged it with a scream. I then popped round to Barbara's house. She wasn't even in. So I went across to Daryl's house, and blimey, what a din. The dogs were all over. They saw me. Well, I ran because I have not learnt to fly yet, but maybe now I can. I have been to all your houses now because I'm nosy, but they are fine. I've had to make a choice. It's hard. I need one to be mine. Now, with my decision made, although very hard to pick, it's Linda's house I'm going to because she gave us Nick. And he's got wings. You want your thing back?
Take it. But, I know it's embarrassing to be out in front of everyone, but tough. Ladies and gentlemen, Eunice! Wow, that is good. I mean, the writing was gorgeous. The bear is just stunning. And am I guessing that that's one of your? It's one of your products, right? So you can actually buy one of those if you speak to Tony. I know, but we've all got to decide where the mash is going, left and right, and we have to buy the plates to do it as well. So, thank you. That was gorgeous, and I'm going to get you doing more of them in the future, but I will give you a week off if you want one. 2, right? Okay. So I need 2 volunteers for the next 2 weeks worth of readings. Think about it. I'll make an announcement again at the end, and then you'll have 30 seconds to come and see me if you want to do it. But thank you again. That was amazing. Well, now is the time where I'm going to hand over, and believe it or not, in spite of my confusion, we're still on time. I will now hand over to Claire, but please do answer in a clear voice, yes, no, don't know, because we're all nosy. You've done that bit already, so it leaves me with nothing more to say than please welcome your medium for tonight, the lovely Claire Quadling! It's all right, you won't even know it's there.
Yeah? Okay. Well, hello, everybody.
Good evening.
What a welcome that was. Thank you for your address, Nick, and thank you for that lovely reading. That was really heartfelt. It was lovely. Thank you. Okay, so my name's Claire. Some of your faces are familiar, so some of you will have seen me before. Some of you won't. The way that I work with spirit is I see spirit in my mind's eye. They give me pictures and they give me images of people, places, objects. I also hear spirit as well. They talk, they'll speak to me and give me things, names, dates. If I do come to you, if I could have your voice, please, and yeses would be good. If it's a no or a don't know, that's fine. I don't always know where I'm going, so I may have to put it out there. And if it does make sense to you, if you could put your hands up, that would be great. The way that spirit tend to work with me is that I never know who I've got until I'm literally up here and standing. So if you could just bear with me just while I bring through my first communicator. Okay, so I feel that I've got a gentleman with me, and I feel this gentleman is either father or he's like a father, someone who was, really, that the person here this evening was really quite close to. He's making me feel, I feel that I have a restriction in my throat, and I don't feel chesty, but I do feel like there was trouble with the throat, whether that was due to cancer or not. It could have been a cancer condition. I'm just finding it really hard to swallow at this time. This gentleman, he was quite a tall gentleman, I feel, probably about 5'11", 12, sort of going up to 6 foot. He was quite he was a well-built man, but only in the fact that he just filled his size out, if that makes any sense to anybody. Now, does anybody understand that with father or like a father? Nope. Would anybody understand the condition with the throat? Because it is taking me to throat. You can take the throat. And would it have been a cancer condition? Right, okay, because I'm just finding it really hard to breathe and to just to do anything really, but he's really making my throat quite restrictive. Would you understand it as father or like a father? You were close. Right, okay. Can I work with you, please? Yeah, okay. So as I said with this gentleman, he was quite a tall gentleman, and he was a very, I don't want to say well built, because I don't think he really was really well built, but he filled himself out. That's the impression that I get from him. And I also feel with this gentleman as well that he had a really lovely nature about him. He's making me feel, how do I describe it? He's making me feel that if I was with him, that I would feel safe. Would you understand that that's how you would feel around him, that he would make you feel safe? I just feel that he was that type of gentleman. He had a really gentle side to him. I'm not saying that he was a pushover, because he wasn't a pushover in life, but he had this real empathy and gentle side to him with the people that he loved and that he cared for. You know, there was nothing that he wouldn't do for people that were within what he would call his family. You would understand that, okay? I do feel also with this gentleman that he was quite an active man when he could be active earlier on in life. I do feel that he was someone that was on the go quite a lot. Yeah. And I also feel as well, he's not telling me what he did for a job, but I do feel that it would have been quite a hands-on job. You know, he wasn't someone to sit at a desk and just write. He liked to be hands-on and doing. I do feel that not a lot of us can say this, but I do feel that he enjoyed his time at work. It wasn't as some of us would somehow sort of take it as, you know, we're going to work again. I just feel with this gentleman, as far as he was concerned, life was for living and life was for getting on with it and making the best of what you could. And I just feel that that's what he did. And would you also understand with him that he was quite a popular man as well? When I say a popular man, that he had quite a lot of friends. He was popular at work, right? Okay, because I do feel that would he have also been someone that his work colleagues would? No, I'm not going to ask you a question. He's giving me the impression that he would have been someone that people would have gone to ask questions, would have looked to for guidance and advice. And I feel in a work environment, that was what, you know, he was good at, and that was what he liked to do, because he liked to help and progress. Yeah, you would understand that. Okay, lovely. That's what he was trying to say. Okay. would you understand that he likes the outdoors? Because he's taken me outside into what I would, he's saying big open spaces is what he's saying, but he would have loved to have been out there, out in nature, and just out, I don't know, he just, trying to say, he just drunk it, that's not a good word, is it? But he just took it all in. It made him feel good. Yeah, I just feel that he would have liked to have gone out. I mean, where I live, I have woods at the back of me, so I can constantly go for walks in the woods and see all the animals. And I just feel that he would like that, and he would take note of things like that. He was interested in, things around him. Yeah. Would you also understand with him that he was quite handy with his hands? I feel that he was a very practical man also, and that he was practical around the house, because I can see him around the house fixing and building, and he wasn't half bad at it either, and he took great pleasure in that. I also feel with him that you and him had a very close bond. As you got older, right? Okay. Because I feel with him that you and him could talk to each other, and you would have conversations where, he would listen, and if you were asking for his advice, he would give it, and you would take it. But in the same vein, if he needed advice on something and he wanted to ask you, you would be honest and open with him also. Yeah. And I also feel as well, part of this bond between the two of you was that he accepted you for who you were, lock, stock and barrel. And I think he's saying that because he's saying that you know what he means. You do know what he means. But that was the bond that you had. Okay? Do you can you take an anniversary in the month of May, in the beginning of May? Yeah, okay. And can you take the name David and John? David. And John, right, lovely. They were just given to me. Okay, so I'm going to go to the reason why he's come through to see you this evening. Okay. There was a lot of love when he was on the earth plane, and there is a lot of love for you now. I know that you feel and you see feel spirit around you, and he's saying that he has been around you recently. Would you understand that you've been feeling just a little bit under the weather? A little bit. Okay, I can understand what you mean. You can understand what I mean. And would you understand that you've been contemplating? Yeah, you would understand that also, right? Okay. He's saying that, or he's come through to give you, he's given you his strength, as he always does, and as you know he does. But what he wants to say to you is, go with your gut instinct, because your gut instinct is always right, and you know that. So less time pondering and more time, not so much doing, but moving, getting on. if you can understand that, it's just what he's saying, just sort of pushing it to one side, and yeah, that's he's getting a bit tongue-tied now, but he's just coming with so much love for you as well. Okay, so can I leave his love with you? Thank you. Right. Okay, let's see what we've got now. Okay, so I've got a lady with me. Okay, and I feel that this lady is, mother. I don't feel that this lady is a very tall lady. She's probably not much more than 5'2", 3 at the most. She's presenting herself to me in what I would only describe as her day wear. She's got a what I would call a normal skirt on, a shirt on, and she's got her sleeves rolled up. So I think her sleeves are rolled up and ready for action. She would have also worn, I do feel during the day that she would have worn sort of like, you know, those wraparound pinnies that like cleaners would have worn. And I also feel with her as well that she really liked to scrub. I don't know what she's making me do this. So can anyone understand that with mother? With your grandmother? What can you understand of what I've said? All of it, right? Okay. And can anybody else understand that? Ish? Is it mother or is it grandmother? It's grandmother as well. All right. Okay. So who would understand that this lady also had a voice, and she would use her voice? Yeah. Sorry, she's just making me laugh there. I do feel that I'm with you, if that's okay, if I can work with you. So yes, so I feel that this lady, she is making me smile because she's like a little pocket rocket is what I would call her, because she might be short in size, but with her mannerisms and the way she was, you certainly knew she was there. She would say what she thought. And she didn't really suffer fools gladly either, I don't feel. You know, she said what she thought and she would give her opinions if two asked for them. And sometimes even if they didn't ask for them. You know, she was quite a scary lady at times. Would you understand that with her? And I think some people were quite sort of like that about her, but she had a really gentle nature about her. She was a really kind person inside, but she just would tell you how it was, because she thought that, you know, that's the way you should be. You know, if you've got something to say it. Yes, she might have put her foot in it a couple of times, but 9 times out of 10, what she said was true. You know, and people actually would have respected her for that. Would you understand that? Yeah, okay. And I also feel with her as well that she would, people would come to her and ask her things because they knew that they would get the right answer, whether it was an answer they wanted or not. Would you understand also with your grandmother that she liked to keep a clean house? Because, and would you understand that she would have used one of those brushes, you know, that you have you put the bowl in a brush, you put a brush in a bowl, and then you would be scraping the floor. So would you understand that she would have either had a stone step or a stone floor? Step. Yeah, because she's just on her hands and knees scrubbing this step. But I tell you what, it was the best step in the whole block. You know, it was the cleanest, shall we say. And I also have to say as well with your grandmother, She may not have had a lot, but what she did have, she made the most of. And she was a very house-proud lady. And she was always of the attitude, you know, you may not have a lot, but make the most of what you've got. Because I do feel, I don't know if you know this, but I do feel as your grandmother was growing up, things were quite hard for her. And so, you know, for the whole family. And so you had to look after yourself. You had to just get on with what you had. And that made her into the woman that she was, you know, and she was a really good and a strong woman. Yes, she could be quite sharp at times. And I do feel also that she could be quite, you know, if you did something wrong, she would tell you. Yeah. In the same instance, the love that she had for you was enormous also. And she would, when she had the time with you, you know, she would make the most of that. She wouldn't just sit you in a corner and say, there you go, play a game of cards. She would interact, you know, because that's the sort of lady that she was. And I do feel that she would also have an open house where she would, I don't mean like constant, but where she would have people come round for tea. And would you understand that she would always have a cake? Because I can see a cake on a cake stand, you know, those ones with the, you know, not just on a plate, but actually on a stand. And I feel that she would have made those cakes also. I do feel that she was quite a good baker as well as quite a good cook. And she would give, it would be tea and sympathy. Yeah. And she just made the most of what she had. And she instilled that into you, I feel, as well. You know, to live each day, you know, to start each day anew, you know, and to never give up. That's just the way she makes me feel. And I feel that she instilled that in you, and you have brought your family up to those values also as well. Okay, so I'm going to go to the reason why she's come through this evening. Okay, so she's come through this evening just to give you a bit of a pep talk, shall we say? She's not going to be too off the cusp because she can't. Okay. Would you understand that you have been struggling to do certain things? It's taken you a lot longer to actually be able to do anything that you want to do. And would you also understand that it gets to you and it is making you feel slightly under the weather? Yeah, okay. And when that happens, you know, it really takes a lot to sometimes get us going again. Yeah, you would understand that. So she's here to give you a bit of a push, shall I say, to sort of, to say to you, you know, she knows it's hard to sometimes think about, you know, just pushing through. But she's saying by doing that, by pushing through, you will come through and you will come out the other side. Okay? And she's saying the sooner you do that, the better, because the better that you will feel. Okay? Okay. She's given me, I don't know what these look like, but she's given me a bunch of dahlias. Do you know what dahlias? She's given me a bunch of dahlias to give to you. So I hope they're nice, because I don't know what they look like. And if I could leave her love with you. Thank you. Okay. Let's see what we've got now. Okay, so I've got a lady, I have another lady with me. And I feel that this lady she's either a sister or a very, very close friend, which would be like a sister. I feel that this lady passed before her time. She would have passed, I would say, late 30s to early 40s. And I do feel that she would have passed with a cancer condition. Maybe in the, maybe in the stomach area. This lady was about, I would say, between 5'7" and 5'9". She was normal build. She was, normal clothes, size 12, something like that. She's presenting herself to me in sort of jeans and a t-shirt. She had longish hair. And I don't know why, but I've just got the name Vivian. I don't know why I've got the name Vivian. Can anybody understand that? With a sister or a close friend that would have passed to the spirit world with cancer. And I think it's around sort of the stomach area.
I can take some of that.
What can you take?
I can take that she was 49.
Okay, okay,
She was quite tall.
right,
She died, she started off with breast cancer, then it went everywhere.
right.
I can't think about her having long hair.
When I say long, I sort of mean maybe sort of down to about,
down there.
yeah, down to, I don't mean really long.
No. And she was slim. I would say between 10 and 12. Or
Yeah. Average build, yes. So you would and was it a sister?
No, she's a very close friend.
A very close friend. But do you understand the name Vivian? No? Okay, well, I don't know if anybody else understands the name Vivian, but that was just given to me. Can I work with you? Yeah, okay. So, as I said, this lady, I do feel that she was quite a fun-loving lady. And I do feel also that you were friends, you were very close for a long time. And you were a bit like twins. You did everything together.
No. I think I understand where you're coming from that, but we sort of just like met up when it was right, if you know what I mean.
Right, okay. Well, can I put it another way then? Can I say that when you did get together, then you were thick as thieves?
Well, not 16.
I didn't say 6.
Oh, did you not say 16?
I said thick as thieves.
Sorry, I misheard. I misheard.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we did. I mean, she helped me out a lot. She helped me out a lot. Right, okay. Well, but you would have, would you understand that you would have helped each other as well, though? Because that's where I'm going, that's what I'm getting, is she's sort of saying to me that you were both there for each other, and when you did meet up, you were as thick as thieves, and, you had a good time. But would you understand that she was the one that really liked a good time? She really did like a good time.
You liked a good time,
But she liked it a lot more.
but you would go along for the ride.
I went with her and just watched her.
Yeah, okay. And I also feel with her that she was very vibrant as well. Wherever she went and whatever she did, she would, people would notice her.
Flamboyant.
Yeah, that's the word, flamboyant. And I also feel as well that she was a really self-confident person. She was happy in her own skin, really happy. And so, she was quite happy in whatever she did, it was fine because she was happy with that. Whereas some of us would
sort of go, she didn't, because life was for living as far as she was concerned. Yeah, life was for living.
She did go well before her time.
And would you also understand with her as well that she was quite popular with the gentleman?
Yes.
She liked that.
She was looking, yeah.
Yeah, I do feel that she would have liked the attention
Yes.
that she got.
Yeah.
And also because she was so confident, she would court that attention, you know, and I do feel with her that she may not know this, but well, she's saying this, but I do feel with her that, you know, she may have caused a few, shall we say, arguments along the way, because she was a vivacious lady.
She was, yes.
You know, she was a vivacious lady, and I feel that she was like that in her approach to life, and also everything she did in life, not just in her social life, but you know, in her work life as well. And I do feel, would you understand that she held quite a good job? Say no if not.
No, it's whatever she did, she put her heart and soul into it.
Right, okay.
And she was, one side of her, she was extremely, really good at what she did.
Right, okay, all right. Because I just feel with her that she would put 110% into what she did.
Yeah.
You know, she would never do anything by halves,
No.
whether that was for herself or whether that was for other people. Because I do feel also with this lady that she was very kind lady as well, and she would do anything for anybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
She would be that ear for somebody, and if she could fix someone, then she would fix them.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely, yeah.
and she left a lasting impression.
She did.
And I think with her, she didn't realise she was leaving that impression.
No.
Half the time, because it was just, how can I put this? It was just what she did.
It was overwhelming with everything about her and what she did.
Right, okay. People were in awe of her.
Yeah.
And I do feel that some people may not have understood
Probably not.
her,
Yeah.
but she was very good in explaining things and trying to put the point across so that all ears, no matter who, could hear and could make their own judgment. And I do feel with this lady as well, even as she started to get poorly, she wasn't finished yet, she's saying. And she fought her illness for quite a long time, you know, and even through her illness, she was very upbeat. You know, whatever she had to go through, and it was a lot, and it was hard, but she did it with a smile on her face, because she didn't want the people around her, the people that she loved, to suffer for what she was going through. She wanted them to be able to enjoy the time that they had left together. And I do feel also with this lady, if you would understand this, that she made her wishes known when she passed. And I do feel that one of her wishes was that there was no tears, there was celebration. And I do feel that when she passed the spirit world, and when she was taken, and when you celebrated her life, it was, I want to say joyous, because it was joyous celebrating her life. Sad that she was going, but knowing, she knew that this was just one part of her journey. And you knew this was just one part of her journey, and she was going on to the next, you know, and she wanted people to celebrate that fact. And I think that you found a good balance in that, so that it catered to everybody. And she said that she was happy. Where she is now, she's just kicking up a storm anyway. But you know, she is learning new things. She is developing even more. She is moving on to her next level, and things are exciting. And she's come through tonight to say to you, to say hello to you, but also to say to you, she wants you to know that she is living her best life. She wants you to know that, and she wants you to tell her family that, you know, because she doesn't want people feeling sad. She wants people to only remember her as she was and as she is now. I know that some people can't take that on board, but she said she wants them to know that she is good and she is happy, and she is always watching over. And she just wants to say, you know, how much love she had and still has for you. And she is never far from your thoughts. Okay? So if I could leave her love with you. Thank you. Yeah, okay. Right. Okay, let's see. Okay, I've got another gentleman with me. And again, I feel like this gentleman is father, or again, he was very much like a father. This gentleman is tall, I would say. He's over 6 foot. And this gentleman is he's a well-built gentleman. He's got a lovely smile. He's got this really lovely smile. And also I do feel that he's got a real deep laugh. I feel that he passed the spirit, not instantaneously, but I do feel he was taken to spirit quite suddenly. I do feel that he would have passed with a heart attack, and I don't think it was what people were. I don't think anybody was expecting it, if I put it like that. But he was a really lovely man. He's presented himself to me in a pair of trousers. He's got his shirt rolled up, turned up, so it's got the cuffs there. I feel that this gentleman would have worked. Yeah, I do feel this gentleman would have been I'm not saying he would have worked in an office, but I feel he would have worked in a more enclosed environment. Can anybody understand that with father? Or like a father, he's a really jolly man, and he's got like a really jolly laugh. You can? What can you understand? Don't tell me where he worked, but would he have worked how I described ish? Right, okay. And what else can you understand that I gave you? Can you understand that he was tall and he was quite well built? Yeah? And would you understand the way that he was dressed with his trousers and a shirt, but he'd have his arm sleeves rolled up? Yeah, he's showing me with his arms rolled up. And would you understand that he had quite a bellowing laugh? It was quite a distinctive laugh. You don't really, is this your father? Yeah, okay. Does anybody else understand any of the information? No? Okay. So can I work with you? And do you understand that he passed the spirit with heart condition? Right, okay. So if I can work with you then, please. So as I said, this gentleman, he was a lovely man. He was quite a well-natured man, I feel. And he was quite a popular man as well. I do feel that he would have, say no if you don't agree. It was what, sorry? Oh, it was full when he, I just feel that he would have had friends, you know, people liked him. He could hold an audience, you know, he could tell a joke. Would you understand that? Yeah, he could definitely tell a joke, right, okay. And I feel that he was good at it as well. I mean, if I told a joke, there would be no laughter at all. But I do feel with him that there would have been. And I also feel as well with him, with his work, would you understand that he would have worked in an enclosed environment, and I do feel that he would have had great knowledge of what he did, and he would impart that onto the people that he worked with, because I do feel that he would have had some sort of a supervisory role, and he would have had people working for him, and he was really knowledgeable about what he did, and he was very good as well. I mean, you have to be a certain kind of person where he would teach people in a way that they would want to learn. You know, if they had a question, he would give them the answer. You know, I feel he was a fair boss, or boss. He was fair with the people that he worked with, and they felt that he was quite an approachable person. Yeah? Okay, lovely. All right. Okay, I've got the name of Andrew and the name of David. Can you take either of those names? Both, right, okay. And can you take the middle of July for an anniversary or a passing? No? Okay, well, just right, well, hang on to that and think about that, because they've given me sort of like maybe the 3rd week of July, something after the 2nd week, something around that time, for an anniversary. Okay, I do also feel with your father that he worked very hard, and he worked for the family. He did, or he didn't.
He worked very hard to provide.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He worked very hard to provide for the family. You know, he loved his family, and he wanted to provide for them, you know, and make sure that they had as good a life as he could give them. Yeah, okay. I do feel with him that he would have liked, there would have been some things that he would have liked, he was quite particular about. You wouldn't know. All right, then let me put it another way. Would he have had sort of like maybe a set of rules, as in that you had to follow, you know, whether it be around the tea table, you know, don't eat with your mouth open, or, you know, things like that. You know, and you know, he was quite adamant about those things, that those things were followed, saying that he was still this really lovely, generous man. Would you also understand that he would have liked to have socialized with his family? He would have liked his family around him. Yeah, I do feel that he would have liked his family around him, and you know, he would be in his element when he had everybody around, because again, he was sort of the man that would be the main man, shall we say. You know, if there was any activities or anything that was going to happen, he would be the one that would be organising it. He'd be like, how can I say it? He'd be like the quiz master. When he did, he was good. Right. Okay. Lovely. Okay. And you would also understand that no one was expecting him to pass when he did, because he was, one minute he was great and the next minute he wasn't. So it was quite a shock to the family, and it was quite a thing to get over because of the big personality that he was. He left a big hole. Yeah. Okay. Right. I'm going to go to the reason that he's come through this evening. Okay. Would you, all right, would you understand, would he have ever read a story for you? Or to you?
Yes.
Right, so he's just shown me a book, and he wanted to show me, you know, so he's sort of saying that he would have read you a story when you were a child. So he's just remembering that. Okay, so why has he come through? He's come through to actually say how proud he is of you. Okay, and he's proud of you for what you've gone through, because I do feel you've gone through quite a lot, and what you've gone through has taken its toll on you, and you've had to really dig deep to move yourself forward, but you have. And what he's saying is he is so proud of you for doing that, you know, and for pushing yourself forward. And he's saying, you know, that the world is full of opportunities, and there are still so many for you. Okay. And he wants to, you know, he's pushing you. He's giving you as much of his energy and his healing energy as he can, as I know that you'll be receiving healing energy from other sources as well to help you to mend. But you are on the right path, and you are doing so well. And he just wants to just say, you know, go girl. You know, he really, really does send you his love. If I could give it to you and take it out of me, I would, but I can't. So I can just say it. So if I could say thank you for working with me, and thank you, everybody.
Bear with me, I'll just take the banner off and see what's just been said.
Do you want this back?
Oh, yes, I better. Sorry, everyone, but at least you only missed me. Whoops-a-daisy. I'm back, but don't worry, you haven't missed much. But thank you for letting me know. We're going to say goodnight to everybody at home now, so at least you'll hear that bit. Whoops-a-daisy, I pulled the plug on myself. Aren't you all disappointed I can't do that in live person? Sorry about that, friends. But from all of us here to all of you at home, after 3, 1, 2, 3, good night. And God bless you all, and we'll see you all next week. Just to let you know, of course, that it is the lovely Dawn Foley next week, and the raffle is on Sunday if you're interested. Good night, God bless. And brand and video.